Championship here at Cooks Gardens.
Acceleration off the runway.
Hamish Kerr's over. Really well.
Releases the shot. That's a big one.
Oh, he's come back the inside. Nagle trying.
Green's got it, I think. It's a little smile there. This man has the potential for greatness.
Kia ora, welcome to a very special venue in New Zealand athletics. It is Cooks Gardens here in Whanganui as the summer circuit of athletics kicks off with the first of 3 classic meetings across this week. It's the 2025 PAK'nSAVE Cooks Classic. The weather, well, few spots of rain this afternoon. Nothing that's amounted to anything really. The cloud came in about midday after a scorching sunny morning, and it's just holding at the moment and hopefully will, with it being relatively still and just a touch humid at the moment. In terms of what you can see tonight, a very rare opportunity to see a New Zealand athletic Olympic champion, because Hamish Kerr is here kicking off his season in the high jump to open up the night's program. And alongside him in the hammer throw cage will be Lauren Bruce, the New Zealand champion who was also at the Paris Olympics. Paralympic champion Anna Grimaldi is in action. She won gold in the 200 metres. Tonight she'll run down the 100 metre straight here. And other highlights, well, Ethan Olivier, the world under 20 triple jump champion, is in action. The New Zealand record holder out of South Africa. We look forward to him in the back half of the program. And of course, we're at Cooks Gardens, where 63 years ago Peter Snell set a world record. So we've got the New Zealand Mile Championships tonight for both men and women. In the men's, Santana looks for a three-peat coming off the back of what was ultimately a disappointing Olympic campaign through injury. Great to have Sam back tonight. And in the New Zealand Women's Mile Championship tonight, an outstanding international field that can hopefully pull our Kiwi milers through to some outstanding times. Looking for more sub-4 minute milers for the men, and for the women the magic mark is 4:36. Time to get it all underway here at the Cooks Classic. And we have a very good crowd building up here at Cooks Gardens in Whanganui in anticipation, because we've got 2 draw cards immediately out in the field. And of course, most notably, as I mentioned there, Hamish Kerr, the Olympic champion. And there he is. He's been warming up with the other 12 entrants to the high jump. Yes, 13 in all, including, you'll see there, a Queensland shirt. There are 2 Australians here, Zane Patterson, and also Connor Larson. We'll talk more about them as this competition unfolds here at the PAK'nSAVE Cooks Classic for 2025. And those high jumpers are being introduced to the crowd right now. Also, you'll see there in the pink top our other draw card early, another Olympian, and that is Lauren Bruce. She's the national record holder for the women's hammer throw, and she will be part of a field of 5 getting underway at the hammer cage, which is just alongside the high jump apron, where Hamish Kerr has just cut the ribbon on a brand new landing area here. So here is the men's high jump field, and Dale Arbuckle to lead off. Jaden Williamson of New Zealand with a best of 2:11, and the applause for Hamish Kerr as he is being introduced, but he will be 11th of the 13. Tia Wynyard, Angus Liver, who's already been in action tonight. He's a decathlete, of course, second in the 200 tonight. Over the page, Australian Zane Patterson, who brings very good form here from last weekend. More on that soon. Hamish Kerr, the man who jumped 2:36 at the Olympics but had to go into a jump-off with Shelby McEwen of the United States, and eventually he was able to clear 2:34 on that jump-off and secure the gold. A famous moment for New Zealand track and field. And to our delight, Hamish has chosen to kick off the new season here. What can we expect from him? Well, obviously he's quite early in a fairly heavy training block, and so it's going to be quite different for him to in the past. He has been here in the past, and he has enjoyed very much jumping here in the past. But what an incredible record he is now building after a remarkable 2024 that saw him win World Indoor Gold in Glasgow with a jump of 2:36 meters, and then Paris matching that outdoors, but it was good enough to go into a jump-off with Shelby McEwen, and in that jump-off they both missed at they both missed at 2:38 initially. Then they both missed in the jump-off at 2:36, but then at 2:34, Hamish Kerr was over and Shelby McEwen wasn't. And Hamish, well, he's a competitor, sure, but very happy to help out Angus Liver there. Women's hammer now being introduced as well, and Lauren Bruce there to the left. Fernanda Tirado will lead off. Lexi Maples, local now based in the US, and with a personal best and season's best of 64.97. Might be able to test Lauren Bruce here, whose personal best is the national record of 74.61. But that was set back some time ago for Lauren, back in 2021 in Tucson in the United States. She did throw 70.59 at the ITM meeting in Christchurch last year. A local identity, Alec McNabb, introducing the field to the crowd. Samasoni Hewitt of the New Zealand Secondary Schools Association is attempting first 1:87 meters, and it's a very comfortable jump for Samasoni, who produced a personal best of 2:05 during the winter, actually, the winter series in Masterton. Samasoni out of the upper hut. And we'll keep you up to date with the jumpers, as many as we can, and obviously also cross to the women's hammer throw, which is up next door. That was Max Atwell through and jumping. He is the 2023 decathlete champion. First up in the hammer, Michaela Sola. Has released the hammer, landing somewhere beyond the 40 metres. She actually set a personal best at the Solar Power meeting last week with a 48.28. So 18-year-old Michaela Sola is in a good form coming into this meet. Conditions remain cloudy but quite humid, and although we've had a few spots of rain here and there, it has not amounted to anything, and pretty good conditions at the moment with the breeze seemingly fairly settled. In terms of the track events, first up we have the fastest kids on the block. It's a pretty cool series for young kids. We'll talk more about that as it unfolds over the 60 metres, and then at 7:30 the hurdles are set up. We've got the 400-metre hurdles for men and women. Nadja Kumrich now about to throw in the hammer cage. Out beyond the 55 metre mark for Nadia. Now, could be close to her personal best. She won the Waikato Bay of Plenty Championships in Hamilton last February with a 54.98. She is the junior women's national champion. And we'll see if we can get some updated figures through on the live results. It was Fernanda Tirado, of course, who got through first, not Michaela Sola. 45.75 for Fernanda. And then we will get the other results fed through as they come to hand. High jump bar has started at 187. Here's Michaela Sola there. Will be the third to throw. Jaden Williamson is about to jump at the high jump. He's got a personal best of 2:11. He's knocked down out 187 early here. Puts him 15th equal on the all-time list, that jump of 2:11. It is going back to 2020. Michaela Sola with a measurable throw there. The hammer. Lexi Maples we saw throw 58 and 63. I just had the wrong order here for the throwers. So Lexi Maples, local but now across in the US, 58.63. Fernanda Tirado led off 45 and 75, and Michaela Sola just there now. Here's Nadia Kumrich for her first throw, and Lauren Bruce will complete the set. I say Nadia coming in with some decent form.
Sports Heritage Trust, Hayden from Mount Hugh, Ryan from Continental. Without these supporters, it would be impossible. So a big round of
keeping an eye on the high jump at the same time in terms of live results. We have
now the 7th year of this event after a 3-year break following COVID. Winners have included Springvale, Whanganui, Western, Eastern and Toronto.
the field of 13 going through. Nadia Kumrich there is started off well, coming down around the 55 metre mark, which would put her close to her personal best. And Lauren Bruce, 27 years of age, two-time Olympian, New Zealand record holder, and she's won the last 3 national titles, the most recent of those in Wellington. We'll see what Lauren can produce. Look good in a warm-up. We're going through a smooth rotation. Swung very high and out beyond the 65 metre mark there for Lauren for a good opener. I can tell you Nadia Kumrich came in at 51 metres. That's a season best for her, of course, for some of them early in the season. For others, they have had competitions. Fernanda Tirado, 45.75, has her in third spot. She should be back to fourth now. Michaela Sola, 45 and 35, and we await the official measure for Lauren Bruce, but she will take the lead after round 1 of the women's hammer, and it's 66.09 for Lauren. I think she'll be pleased with that as an opening throw. Hugo Newton-Jones in the men's high jump. Young 18-year-old who at the Cooks Classic last year jumped 2 metres 7. And comfortable early here. He competed at the jumps to music in Hara midweek. Cleared a metre 89 there, which was good enough for 6th. A good warm-up for tonight. We go back to Fernanda Tirado for her second round throw. Fernanda, just 15 years of age, the girls under 16 national champion. She's come out the front there, so that won't be measured. Fernanda's best with the 4 kilo hammer, 52.87 at the night of 5, is back in December. The men's high jump and the women's hammer throw, the two events that have opened things up here for the PAK'nSAVE Cooks Classics, are both World Athletics Continental Tour bronze events, so some extra points to be earned here. There are 5 bronze events tonight across the 2 hours of action that we have for you. Women's 100 metres is also one of those, and the 2 miles for the men and women. Bar now at 192. And the high jump, of course, jumpers like Hamish Kerr and the Australians will come in a little later. Here's Alexi Maples, who has released a very good throw here beyond the 60-metre arc from Lexi. Local favourite. 64.97 her personal best, which she did last April at Long Beach in the USA. And 62 metres plus there for Lexi Maple, 62.10. Takes her, or keeps her, in second spot. Angus Liver there just having a miss at 192. Michaela Solar, fresh off the Solar Power meeting, Shaka Solar's annual throw meeting in Lower Hutt, successfully held last weekend across a couple of nights.
In the first place, we have Rock Oakland from Western.
Tentative release there from Michaela. 45.35 was her first measure. She might have done slightly better there with her second throw, just looking at where the officials are marking that. Najik Kimerich will be the next into the cage. .51 metres for her first throw.
All right, under nines. In third place, we have Luca Wichter. Second place, we have Blake.
Naja, 19 years of age, junior women's national champion. But just losing control of the hammer there and just releasing it into the cage and coming out the front for a no throw there. Angus Liver just knocked down 1.92 metre again. He's got one attempt left as we await Lauren Bruce to come into the cage for her second throw and to wrap up the first round, with just the second round, I should say, with the just the 5, the handful, get through that competition reasonably quickly. And you see in the background there another of the kids races, fastest kids on the block. They've started with the under 9s. It's competition where they have held at parks around the regions, the suburbs of Whanganui and further out as well, Ruapehu, Rangatike. And the qualifiers come through tonight on the big stage. Here's Lauren.
For first place was Keith Chapman.
Working hard to stay in the cage, coming down just beyond the 65 metre arc and not going to add to the 66.09 of the first round.
Then we took a stop with the big claims from Carolina. This time to the woman.
Just having a look. Through where the high jump is at the moment. Looks like Tia Wynyard's over 192, Samasoni Hewitt, Hugo Jones and Connor Larson from Australia, Darling Downs Athletic Club. Starting off at 192, Dale Arbuckle, Jaden Williamson also, Ben Walker. Fernanda Tirado back to lead off round 3. Successfully down the middle here for Fernanda. Looking to add to her 45.75 from the first round. Certainly a treat for the young throwers to throw with those the quality of Lauren Bruce, our national record holder, and Lexi Maples, who continues to rise in this discipline. We have had athletics events here from 4 o'clock this afternoon. We'll run through some of those results for you when we get the opportunity. Lexi Maples adding 3.5 metres to her first round throw and her second. Let's see if she can add further. Once again beyond the 60 metre mark, so good consistent throwing from Maples in the first half of the competition. High jump bar now at 197. Really good crowd down behind the hoardings at that end of Cook's Gardens. For obvious reasons, with the lure particularly of Hamish Kerr jumping soon and the opportunity to see Lauren Bruce and one of their own, Whanganui's own Lexi Maples. Dale Arbuckle from Marlborough, successfully over 192 and pretty delighted with it too. 19-year-old. Personal best of 195 set in December at Nelson. In fact, in 197, that's why he was keen. It's a personal best. So 197 for Dale Arbuckle. Jaden Williamson there at 197. Bringing the bar down. Arbuckle, the first over, the 197. On the track here, the 60-metre race is continuing. The fastest kids on the block. Started with the under 9s, moved to the under 11s, also have the under 14s as well, both girls and boys. 6 races in total. Successful jump there from Tia Wynyard, who won silver at the National Championships last year with 2 metres 06. Second to Adam Stack, who's not here tonight.
And first place, Alba Hutchins from Western.
Ben Walker won the under 20 National Championships with a jump of 2 metres 1. He jumped 2 metres 5 for the first time last month in Nelson. Kind of a crop of really good young high jumpers coming through, and no doubt inspired by Hamish Kerr. And of course the opportunity to jump with him tonight. And that's a good clearance at 197 for Ben Walker. He nearly went out at 192. But he's cleared that comfortably. Lauren Bruce leading there, as you can see, with 66.09, 62.10 Lexi Maples. Fernanda Tirado, 51.20, lying third, just ahead of Nadja Kimmerich. And Michaela Soul has improved to 47.19 with her most recent throw. Not too far away from her PB set last week. 65.76 was Lauren's second throw, so 2 consistent throws to date.
Okay, under 14s, in fifth place, Wallace from Castlecliff.
This time landing around about the 65 metre arc. You can tell from the release and the reaction from Lauren that she probably felt that it wasn't going to be an improvement on what she's done so far, but still consistent throws. But she's very experienced and she knows from the release just where that might be landing. 400 metre hurdlers warming up. The hurdles have been out for some time. 91.4 centimetres the height for the senior men. And we've got a field of 7 to line up shortly for that. So halfway through there in the hammer throw for the women. 3 throws through.
Thank you everyone, enjoy the rest of the night, and thanks for supporting the pick.
Cameron Moffat is doing up his shoes in lane 5 prior to the first of the senior races on the track this evening. Jonathan Maples lines up in here in lane number 6. Personal best of 52.71 should be prominent in this, along with Cameron Moffat, who we saw there. Best of 53 and 31. They stand out. James Hansen in lane 7 and Nat Kirk in lane 8 have also dipped under 55 seconds. Damien Hodgson is lane number 2 with lane 1 spare, and 5th at the Nationals last year at under 20 level. Local athlete Luke Moffat in lane 3. 19-year-old. He's an all-rounder, very handy across the disciplines as a decathlete. And I'm pleased to tell you that mine won't be the only voice you'll hear tonight. Has been for the first half hour of the program. A man's been on duty, and the man's name is Tony Rogers. Tony, very good evening. Welcome to the coverage. You've been very busy out there handing out caps and medals for the Masters Miles.
Yeah, there's a few grades to get through, Mark, so it took a little bit of time in between the kids on the block sprints and the introductions for the premier field events that are going on at the moment. So, but yeah, look, pretty excited about this men's 400-metre hurdles. We've got last year's top 5 in the country competing here, and 3 of those lads are Whanganui hometown lads. So it's a fairly strong field, but a local field as well.
Indeed. Jonathan Maples, man to watch here in lane number 6, wearing the blue singlet, Whanganui, with the white diagonal stripes. Green singlet away on the outside is Nat Kirk, another of the locals as they take to the blocks for the 400-metre senior men's hurdles.
So in lane 2, we've got the National Schools Hurdles champion stepping up. He's over 300 metres of what they run at the National Schools, and that's Damien Hodgson, also from Whanganui.
And they're underway first time and approaching the first flight of hurdles. And a pretty good beginning from James Hansen out in lane number 7, quickly up on the shoulder of Nat Kirk and heading him. Jonathan Maples coming through, and Cameron Moffat underneath him is keeping Maples in his sights as well as they head towards running off the back straight. Maples strong now underneath Hansen to lead. Cameron Moffat lying third, just a little awkward over that hurdle as he comes to the home bend. You can see Nat Kirk out wider. A little bit closer into Noah Retford in lane 3, running for the New Zealand Schools singlet, but a popular local victory here, Tony. Jonathan Maples in a race he's dominated there and pulled out for a big, probably 15-metre win in the end.
Yeah, so a win to him, and I'm sure he'll be hoping that his sister might be going to take out the honours and the hammer across the other side of the track. So yeah, great run there by Jonathan. He's been running really well from what I've heard, and he's our number 1 last year domestically, so good to see him get a good win on his home track.
And certainly his sister has been going well, lying second currently at the moment behind Lauren Bruce. Should have that result through shortly from the senior men's, and we'll get a time there for Jonathan Maples in pretty good conditions, Tony, because it's pretty mild. What's the wind like out there? I'm looking at the trees. There doesn't look to be a lot there.
No, there's not much wind at all. There's a little bit of light breeze, but it's actually quite humid, Mark, and yes, you can see by those dark clouds that are floating around that it's probably keeping that warmth in. So it's going to be definitely no issues around warmth for the athletes tonight as we head into the late twilight.
Great news here, Tony, because he's run a personal best here. Jonathan Maples with 52.05, beating his 52.71 that he set in Suva in Fiji back last June when he was 5th in the Oceania Champs. So he's taken plenty off that. 52.05. James Hansen hung in well for 2nd, 53.90. He claims a personal best as well. Cameron Moffat 3rd with 54.76, ahead of Noah Retford, and Noah's posted a PB, as has Damien Hodgson there for the 400-metre hurdles. So 56.32 for Damien, so there'll be a few happy boys there, Tony.
Yeah, and it'll keep local coach Alec McNabb very happy. He's been telling me that Jonathan's been going well, and he's definitely showed that by running his best here tonight. So good, really good for Jonathan to carve another good half a second or more off his personal best on his home track with this new surface here that's been relayed only there just before Christmas. So it's looking particularly sharp, and the athletes are telling me it's got a bit of spring in it, so that's going to be good for the jumpers in particular as well. Indeed.
Any idea when Hamish might come into this competition, Tony?
I'm not sure, but I'm thinking that he'll probably pop one in around the early 220s, if not one before, just for a safety jump. Obviously he shouldn't have any issues winning this event, but the young lad that's come across from Zane Patterson from Australia did a 2:15 just last week, so that's good. And we can see Lauren Bruce going into the circle here for the hammer now, so she's New Zealand's national record holder.
Consistent set of throws so far, 66.09 her best, her other two in and around the 65 metre mark. This is Lauren Bruce with her fourth throw. Very high in its trajectory there, and it's probably close to her best tonight. Won't be far off that 66.09 that she produced in round one. Okay, the Solar.
Yes, well,
her next throw. And Tony, I think you got down to the Solar Power meeting last weekend?
Yes, went out on the Friday night. It was over 2 days, and so Michaela set her personal best last week in the hammer. She's in the heavier grade now with the 4 kg, and it's good to see her throw. And also as a new Wellington record for Elizabeth Hewitt, or Lizzie Hewitt as known, out of the Solar Power Training Academy last weekend, setting a new record. So some good performances coming out of that meet last week. So good to see Michaela here competing tonight again.
47.19. Her second throw has been her best tonight. Of course, she pulled out that 48 plus last week. Michaela through the circle and launching something just a little below the 50 metres, so probably a pretty good throw and might be the best that she's produced tonight.
Yeah, she's currently sitting with a best of, 47.19 as you said, so that won't be too far off.
19-year-old Nadja Kumrich waiting her turn. Junior women's national champion.
Yes. So Nadia and Michaela have been having some really good battles all the way through school, so progressing very similarly.
Tony, you can sort of feel the buzz coming through from the crowd up through, and particularly from the end, which is to the right, from where we are sitting here up in the stand, but really good gathering down there to watch both the high jump and the hammer throw. Great to have them at the same end.
Oh, absolutely. It's perfect conditions for that, and the apron, of course. And there goes Nadia. It's looked a little bit tight on the end of that throw, but we'll see what it comes up with. Yeah, there's people around the fence there of that top bend, 2 or 3 deep all the way around, most of that high jump fan, and there's a good number of people sitting on the grass terrace bank there just north of the finish line. So it's a really good atmosphere on this beautiful warm night here in Whanganui, so great to have.
Ferranda Tirado, the under-16 national champion, Tony, she will be relishing throwing in the company of Lauren Bruce and Lexi Maples tonight, and she's got out to 51.20 in her third round, which is an excellent effort. Her best set in December at the night of 5, so the 52.87, so she's not too far from that.
See that Nadia threw 51.50 on that last round throw, so that's her season's best by the looks of things. Keeps
her third just ahead there of Fernanda Tirado, who will come in now.
I'm just wondering, Mark, whether Tirado's throwing the lighter implement with her being a little bit younger than the other girls, but which is the 3 kg, which is what the under-16 girls throw, but can't really pick that up from here. But that's a possibility of the distances that she's throwing.
Out to around sort of the 53 metre mark possibly there with that latest throw. Just on the 400 metre hurdles, the women's event was contested earlier. Grace Wisniewski, the winner there, in a time of 105.16 over 15-year-old Jamie Fell, who posted 109.24 and a personal best there for Jamie, quite new to the 400 metre hurdles.
Yeah, a lot of those younger girls doing 400 hurdles for maybe the first time, because as I was saying earlier, the schools athletes do 300 hurdles, even in the senior schoolboy and schoolgirls. So we've got
Lexi Maples coming in.
Yep. She's
Fernanda Terada 53.83 in that previous, and a personal best listed for her.
Oh, must be a close call for the officials on the circle there, but I think she's got the white flag, so
It's come out underneath, well underneath her best throw of the night. Sharing a bit of a laugh with Lauren Bruce.
So Lauren about to take her 5th round throw.
These two events, Tony, are World Athletics Continental Tour bronze events tonight. There are 5 of them, and I believe that they have been spread around the classics this year, with your Capital Classic midweek Wednesday this year and the Potts Classic next Saturday in Hastings.
Yeah, so across the 3 meets we've combined to have 15 bronze events, which is pretty close to a full bronze meeting, but obviously they're across those 3 meets within a week, or 8 days if you count Saturday to Saturday. But yep, looking forward to having some top-line athletics in the Wellington City on Wednesday night this year rather than our traditional Friday, which is going to be good. And it looks like the weather forecast's looking okay, so.
Yeah, hard to trust them this far out, Tony, but, you know, we'll take it.
So here's Lauren, round 5. Looks like that was outside by the signal there.
Indeed, the
red
official
flag
signalling that it has gone wide of the arc, so not to be measured for Lauren, but she's got 1 to go. She's got the competition secure, leading by over 5 metres from Lexi Maples, but there has been some good throws from each and every one of the 5 thus far. Here's Connor Larson, one of the Australians out of the Darling Downs Athletic Club in Queensland, and he looks to be jumping well. He set a personal best of 2 metres 10. He did it in both March and April last year. Firstly at the Australian Champs, he finished 5th there, and he was 2nd at the Queensland Championships, both times with 2 metres 10. So good to have Connor here.
Yeah, absolutely. So they've come out of Brisbane or around the Queensland coast area, coached by the mother of the female high jumper that we had earlier, Toby Stoberlin. She finished 2nd in the women's high jump to Imogen Skelton. They did 179 in the women's high. So we've got young Samasoni Hewitt, I think, is on the runway in those New Zealand schools. Just lost sight of him out there for a minute. See Hugo Jones, the other tall athlete there in the Puma shorts with the black singlet on.
Tia Wynyard in the middle in his Old Boys University singlet, his twin brother lining up in the mile tonight. I think he's in the C mile, Tony. A lot of, I think he was quite keen to be elevated to the B, but geez, a good number of milers tonight turning out.
Yeah, there is in 3 mile races, so there's some athletes that are going to be a little bit disappointed and others that are pretty happy they got in the A race, and it looks like the B race is going to be very competitive. This is young Arbuckle now.
Dale was over 197 earlier, and that's a personal best for him. Now, Won't be too long before we have Hamish Kerr in action, but we've got the men's 100 metres coming up now with lane 1 vacant, Ben Lambert off lane 2, Jackson Rogers in 3, Jacob Stockwell in 4, Tommy Tapuni, who's already won a 200 metre event tonight and hopefully will turn out in the 400 later in the program. Rylan Noom was 3rd in that 200. Joshua Atagoke in lane 7 and Matthew Roger in lane number 8 for the first of our 100 metre sprints tonight.
Yeah, it's been good, and I'm just hoping we've got the right set up. It looks like we don't have Tapuni in lane 5.
No, we don't. So
yeah, he ran a 21.17, I think it was, in the 200 earlier. So whether he's going to do the 4 or he's happy with that tonight, I know that he's targeting a bit of a showdown with Lex Rebel Lewis in the 400 in Wellington.
So you're hoping he will save himself up for that in a few days' time on the Wednesday night, Tony, because that could be something else, and both of them look capable of threatening Sean Farrell's long-standing national record this year.
They've both been asking about any bonuses, so that's an indicator to me if they break the record. So yeah, it's going to be good to have that showdown. That's definitely one, and it'll be a good comp. But yeah, so we're getting ready for this men's 100 now, less of Tommy Tapuni.
So no Tommy Tapuni here after winning that 200 metres, and we'll wait and see if he does line up in the 400 tonight or whether he saves himself for that event on Wednesday night. So that's why lane 5 is vacant. Rylan Noom in lane 6 should be prominent here. Looked good earlier on.
Oh,
and false start there.
Yeah, so that was lane 6. I think
it was Rylan Noom there.
Yeah, Hastings boy. Won some national junior titles, so he's still in the under 20s, isn't he? So
he is.
He's got another year, so he'll be. I think he's had a little bit of injury on stage late last year, so really good to see him back.
Saw him at the Potts Classic last year. He ran 10.62, which was his personal best. Looks super. He's the under 20 gold medalist in 2023 for both the 100 and 200 metres. As Tony said, had injury towards the end of last season. So that's Rylan in lane 6, Joshua Atagoke to his outside in 7, Matthew Roger in the red singlet in lane 8, lane 4 for Jacob Stockwell, Jackson Rogers lane 3 and Ben Lambert off the inside. This is the men's 100 metres here at the PAK'nSAVE Cooks Classic.
So this is a fairly open race, Mark, so I'm not game enough to pick a winner, to be fair.
No, well, I'd ring Tommy Tapuni, so you can't back a scratching.
No.
Underway this time, Atagoke out nicely from lane number 7. Rylan Noom lane. He's getting strong through the middle though and closer in then to Jackson Rogers coming through as well. Rylan Noom will take it from Jackson Rogers. Joshua Atagoke home in 3rd.
Yeah, so young Jackson Rogers from down in the deep south from Aspiring Club, Mount Aspiring. So he's been running particularly well through the year as well.
Jackson Rogers best to date 10.61, which was set in Nelson last month. So as Tony said, he's in really good shape at the moment. Atagoke got a good start on the outside. Noom came underneath him, and looks like Matthew Roger will pick up 4th there. But Rylan Noom after 3rd in the 200. That was behind Tommy Tapuni and Angus Liver, who went around there in the 200. And of course he's been involved at the high jump since then. Connor Larson at the high jump has brought the bar down with his feet there. Lauren Bruce is in the circle, 10.66 for Rylan Noom, so good conditions for sprinting.
Yeah, it's a plus 1.2 win, so it's favourable for them as well, so that's promising.
Personal best for Atagoke and Roger there. Lauren Bruce has just thrown her hammer into the cage.
We hear it clanking away from here, so that's not a good sign for a hammer thrower, is it? So
it's not. Of course, we saw, unfortunately, the Commonwealth Games, Tony, where she put all 3 into the cage in qualifying. So, look, tonight a pretty solid set from her. 67 and 48 will be her best. Lexi Maples 62.10. Fernanda Tirada with a personal best 53.83. Nadia Kimrich 51.50 and Michaela Sola with a personal best 48 and 67. Dale Arbuckle's just cleared 2 metres there.
So that's another personal best for him, isn't it?
It's not bad going, is it?
Yeah, that's good. So good competition for these young men. There's obviously Hamish is one of our leading and dominant high jumpers, but we've got such a group of young men that are anywhere between 2 metres and about 2.10 in New Zealand at the moment, and so we're just waiting for that next one to emerge, and competitions like this are going to bring the best out of these young athletes.
Second of the men's 100 metres here. We've got David Mandingu in lane 1, Bill Quigley in 2, Zach Siogas in lane number 3, lane 4, Daniel Mendingu, Liam Kilby in 5, won a 200 earlier, Liam Kilby, Ethan Calder-Cass. I think lane 7's vacant there, so someone's missing there.
Yeah,
The 7th, we've got someone in lane 8.
Ethan Calder-Cass is definitely in 6. That's him in the
Right.
Paraparum colours.
Okay.
And I'm not sure whether
Maybe Kieran's just moved. Kieran Sinclair Lomax has moved to lane 8. They're underway here. Zaxiogas made a pretty good start, but now Liam Kilby has blasted through to the lead and is going to clear out comfortably here. Second over Daniel Mendingu.
So it was Ethan Calder-Cass that took that out.
Oh, sorry,
Paraparumu, yes, Mark. And the Paraparumu colours, I'm probably familiar with those. So,
Yes.
Yeah, so it was a good win for him, and he'll be pretty happy with that, I would think.
It was a really strong win from him. Dominant throughout. Daniel Mendingu home in 2nd spot, and Liam Kilby only 3rd there. Sorry about that. Lucky to have Tony here to pull out the singlet.
It's that vacant lane threw us because they had someone in 7, but we had someone in 8. So it looks like Kilby we ended up going out in lane 8 because that's him with the. I think that's him with the blonded hair.
Oh, okay.
But I'm not sure what happened there.
He won the 200 earlier with 22.72. Back to the high
Nice jump there.
Yeah, Walker's over. Ben
Yeah.
Walker is jumping really well. Now here is Zane Patterson
All
out
the
of
way
the
from Queensland.
Tigers Athletics Club. Quite a recently established club, 2017.
Real nice clearance.
Very comfortable.
Yep.
So last week he posted his personal best of 2:15 at the Alana Boyd Shield meeting in Brisbane. As we recap that men's 100 metres and just confirming too, sorry for the confusion, but Tony cleared it up. Ethan Calder-Cass the winner, 11.05. Daniel Mendingu at 11.24. Liam Kilby third, 11.30. Zach Siogas 11 and 54. And Kieran Sinclair Lomax did not start. So I had a look at that Zane Patterson jump. It was posted on Instagram, and it was actually quite a comfortable jump as well. Tony suggested that he's got even more, so see what he can do tonight, but he certainly looked very good in that previous.
So we've got Hamish there. Very apt coloured tracksuit top he's wearing, Mark.
Oh.
It'd be nice to be able to strut that one.
Indeed. Absolutely.
Currently we have 5 athletes who've cleared 202 and we start at 206 and we do our first sight of Olympic
Yeah.
champion Hamish Kerr.
100 metres for women coming up. A Continental Tour bronze.
And lane 1 we should have Amy Keller from Paris. Lane 2 Julia McKinley from
So Amy Marie Ellis, T13 athlete in lane 1 by the looks there. Juliet McKinley lane 2. Shale Collette and her twin sister Adira Collette lanes 3 and 4. Kenzie Bowden in 5. Alexandra Domansky in 7. Maddie Wilson in lane 8. Maddie's already won the long jump earlier. And in the 200 metres earlier on, Adira Collette,
She
looked
did a
terrific.
Yeah, it was a 24 and a tick, I think it was, for her. She ran in there.
Personal best for her, 24.03. Shale was second to her, and Kenzie Bowden finished third, but this is the 100 metres. So Juliet McKinley is in lane 2. It's Amy Marie Ellis there in lane number 1. T13 athlete. Looks like lane 4 is blank there, which is where Adira was going to be. So Shale Collette is there, but Adira is not. Kenzie Bowden in 5.
We've got 2 of the girls there running in the New Zealand schools colours. That's Juliet McKinley. We've got someone in lane 1 which is not on our list.
No, that's Amy Marie Ellis, and Anna Grimaldi's in lane 6 here.
Yeah, here we go.
So they're underway. Shale Collette has gone to the lead here. Alexandra Domansky coming through out wider, and Kenzie Bowden. Shale Collette will win.
Anna Grimaldi in there.
So they combined the 2 para-athletes there in that race. Anna Grimaldi, of course, the winner of the 200 metres at the Paralympic Games, and we'll never forget that smile and that great look of shock.
Yeah.
And of course she was third in the 100 metres and 4th in the long jump. But Shale, in the absence of her sister Adira, has come through for a pretty comfortable win. Oh, Tia Wynyard.
Nice. So these guys are jumping 206. I think that's what they were at, aren't they, Mark? And so that's probably very close to, if not a personal best, I think, for Tia.
I think that will equal it for Tia. He jumped 206 when he won the silver at the national champs last year behind Adam
That's
Stack.
right. That's
so
a personal best equal that. That's right. So we've got Ben Walker again. And his personal best was 205, so if he clears this, he'll be a happy young man. Oh, not a bad effort.
it looked good, didn't it? But he did give it a nudge there with the buttocks going over, but it looks within his grasp.
Yep.
Having jumped 205 last month, be feeling confident. The under 20 national champion. Now we've got another 100 metres coming up for the women, Group B. So Shale Collette with 11.93 taking out the 100 metres over Alexandra Domansky, 12.44. I think Alexandra had a win earlier as well in the 200. She was in Group B of the 200. Posted a personal best 26.07 there, so she's had a good day. Kenzie Bowden third, 12.52, and heptathlete Maddie Wilson, 12.59. Another busy day for her. So in the Group B of the women's 100, Ashley McDonald in lane 1, Daisy Goodman 2, Freya Easton 3. Brian Nicholson listed in 4 there, but I had it down as a scratching, so we'll have a look shortly. Yes, she's down as a no starter there. Enzel Gale at lane 5, Tenzana Dell in 6, and Verda Kestrup in 7. Looks like Freya Easton's out here as well, so 5 taking the blocks, and they're underway. Daisy Goodman in lane number 2 away okay and starting to pull away, but down the outside Verde Kestrup getting into her work, and Zelgal a little closer in, coming between them. But Daisy Goodman will be home, and Zelgal through for second, and Verde Kestrup third. So confirming Tia Wynyard is the only jumper over 206 at the moment. And Hamish Kerr, Olympic champion, is
Getting ready.
taking to the apron and encouraging the crowd to get involved. Well, very comfortably over 206.
Almost looked as taking a casual jump onto his big double bed or something, didn't it? It's just very, very nice. And it's great for the people to see this here and see our Olympic champion. We don't have too many Olympic champions in track and field, so it's great to have them turn out here in the regions of New Zealand at Whanganui with such a proud heritage in athletics.
And that result, Daisy Goodman coming through in a 13.30 over Ansel Gow and Verta Kestrup, who's posted a personal best, and so too did Asher McDonald, so congratulations to them. We had two not going to the blocks there, so a field of 5 in the end for that race. Tony, sort of a difficult situation for Hamish off the back, obviously, of the pinnacle. It's Olympic gold. That's the ultimate in track and field, and he comes into a new season, and yes, there is a World Championship this year, but obviously he's jumping tonight and probably in a pretty heavy block of training at the moment, so he probably has to be a little bit careful about where he comes in. So he gave himself a nice warm-up there at 206, which for him is very comfortable, obviously.
Yeah, and obviously he knows the people have come to see him have some jumps, so it's really important, and it's encouraging for him to be jumping while these other young athletes that are on the rise are jumping as well.
Ben Walker, second attempt there at 206. Look, he's certainly giving it a good shot. 205 last month, which has been his personal best. So far we've seen Hamish Kerr and Tia Wynyard over 206, and for Tia equaling his personal best. And Samasoni Hewitt on the prowl on the track. As we move up to 8 o'clock, we've got the men's triple jump coming soon. Should be another highlight to see a world under 20 champion Ethan Olivier, and his brother for that matter. And they're being
introduced
to the crowd.
So you can see them the second and third in from the end as we're looking at them. Ethan is one in the Adidas kit, and Valray's in his Pakuranga club colours by the looks of it. They arrived in from South Africa, where they're based, on Monday evening quite late, and they've spent a few days in Wellington in prep for this competition, and then they'll be coming back down to the capital for another jump on Wednesday night.
And here is the start list. Connor Gilliland. Ethan Olivier is going to jump second. 17:01, the New Zealand record and the measure that took him to World Under 20 Championship glory. Valray Olivier, who will remind you that every record that Ethan is breaking, Valray set in the first place. 16:59 is best. We've got Ari Kisharia. Scott Thompson, evergreen. 15:22 best. He's jumped 14:47 recently. And across so it will be Gilliland. Now here is Zane Patterson from Australia at 2 metres 6 and a comfortable clearance. Hamish put the top back on. Do you think he skips another height perhaps here, Tony?
Yeah, looking like they're going to 2:10 after this, so we'll just, I would think he'll probably skip a height and just see how everyone's panning out around him. But yeah, it's good to see there's now got 3 clearances at 206, and next up we've got Arbuckle, who's having a great night, isn't he?
He's having a really good night. Dale Arbuckle, previous best was 195. Well, he's pushed it a long way beyond that now.
He won't be happy about that one after clearing 2:02 to set his previous best in the round before.
Ben Walker going to head for his third and final jump.
Got 2 more athletes in the high jump, the third attempt, 207. First up, we've got
We've got to remember too with Hamish Kerr, of course, once in qualifying and once during the final competition, Tony, he very nearly went out at heights that, you know, he normally would jump over very comfortably, and he had us all off the couch.
Yeah, that's right.
Here's Ben Walker. Oh, it looked like he cleared it. He might have just flicked it with his heels. It's certainly within his capability. You think Ben will be improving his personal best in the next few weeks the way he is travelling. Certainly got good conditions for it tonight. Samisoni Hewitt will be the next to try and stay in the competition.
So he's had a pretty clean sheet, Samisoni. Had one miss so far at 2:02, so he's in good form.
Got athletes warming up for the C-section of the senior mile. It's been split into 3 sections with a number of athletes tonight, and of course we're looking forward to Sam Tanner looking to make it 3 straight and 4 in total, and potentially a 5th sub 4 minutes, but it could be tough work at this stage of the season for Sam. We'll see. Here's Hewitt. It's not quite able to get the elevation there, but a good competition nonetheless for Samisoni. He's got a best of 2:05, wasn't quite able to clear 2:06 there, and just awesome for these young jumpers to be able to embrace an Olympic champion. It's just boys' own annual stuff, isn't it, Tony?
Oh, absolutely. So yeah, Samisoni's got a good championship record. He's had a silver and gold at New Zealand schools and nationals, and here we have our world under-20 champion Ethan Olivier on the triple jump runway.
Right down in front of us here in the main stand. And the crowd appreciating the opportunity to see a world under-20 champion in his discipline.
And we mustn't forget that he did represent us in Paris as well, and then he went on with the pressure of trying to do particularly well. So he was 4th in the world under-20s in 2022, and then was the winner last year in 2024, and still 19.
Travelling all over the world, that victory coming in Lima, Peru. Now, Tonio, I believe their father and trainer, the coach, has been staying with you. Has he talked about the Olympic experience, what that was like for Ethan, and whether it was perhaps a little overwhelming for him?
We didn't dig too deep into it because we wanted to relax when they're there, but we definitely talked a bit about some of the things that were happening in Peru and the travel. And they had a really busy season travelling around Europe as well, early on, to make sure they secured that Olympic qualifier. And now's his brother Valray, who's number 2 in New Zealand.
Silver medal behind his brother on the Nationals at Wellington last March. Wasn't particularly happy with his jumping that day. 15:81 was good enough for second though, but he has jumped 16:59 the South Africa Nationals as a PB.
And that's a good shot of them coming down the runway, isn't it?
Good to see him wearing the Pakuranga singlet though, to whom they are affiliated in New Zealand. Here's Tia Wynyard.
Oh, it's bad luck for Tia.
He's in uncharted territory here, but that was a pretty fair attempt. Here's Group C, and Tony, good to have you in here, being a miler who is on the board here 3 times, I believe, sub-4s here at Cooks Gardens.
Yeah, and it wasn't on this track, it was on the grass track beforehand, but that's some years ago now, Mark. But yeah, good to see really good fields. And the weather out there is pretty perfect for running a mile. You can see those teardrop flags down by the dais are virtually not moving, and we've got a good lineup of some locals here. A number of the athletes have come up from Wellington. Young Rainer Kravitz from Estonia. He actually set a PB 1500 the other night at Wellington, so he's running out of the Victoria University Club while he's here in New Zealand. And good to see a man in there, Ben Ruth in Tauranga. We've heard a lot about his young son, Sam, in the last 12 months, I suppose. So he's having a step out in the smile as well.
And we'll get to see Sam in the A mile with Sam Tanner and a couple of Australians, including an Australian para athlete who's going to be worth watching here. We've got Pi Wynyard in here, Tony, while his brother's doing
high jump.
Really good things at high jump.
Yeah, so we've got some siblings that have been competing tonight, haven't we? We had the Maples and now we've got the Wynyards, and we've had young Pi do some work with national cross country, wasn't it, mate?
We did.
Down in Christchurch for the national schools, and that was really nice. So
really enjoyed his insight there.
He ended up having a good. There's Sam Ruth in the black with number 11 on his bib.
So they get underway in the men's C mile. Good numbers again for the mile, as you'd expect at Cooks Gardens. Pretty unique to be able to get a run around here with, what is it, 77 sub-4s in the town.
You had the list there in front of us before,
yeah,
didn't we?
Indeed. And, yep, I think you might be sitting number 11 in terms of time there.
Yeah, it's still sitting up there, but maybe drop down a
23,
little bit.
Sorry, 23 for you, but that's very good.
23 at Cooks Gardens, but it's still hanging up the top there in New Zealand. But anyway, this is a C grade mile, and it looks like the pace is going to be fairly true. Just trying to pick up the colours of the young man in front at the moment. I
might pull out the binoculars shortly and have a look down. It's like, is it an Egmont singlet?
He's got number 1
Felix
started in lane 1, Felix Field from Egmont. You've done well to tick that up, and that's Max Taylor from Victoria, and then Pi Wynyard in the first 3, and Rainer Kravitz and the other Victoria University out on the outside. See Sam Ruth in the all black there, sitting in behind them all. I'm not sure what Sam's best time is, but of course he's into his 40s now.
His best time's around just a tick over 4 minutes from memory. It's going back a while, of course.
Yeah. Yes, he did run in a few of the elite miles here in his time.
So, 4 minutes 17 is best. His best in recent times has been 4:26 there for Ben.
So he's not far off 45, so
doing well.
And his brother-in-law has done a sub 4 minute mile on here. Looks like a
clearance from Zane Patterson
in the high jump while this is going on. Yep, we can tell that. And that's Pi Wynyard gone to the front of this from Max Taylor and Rainer Kravitz. With Felix Field just getting past in 4th there.
He might be looking to prove a point here, Pi. Looking to bump himself up to the B next year.
Yeah, it's always an interesting thing when you have to grade these fields into A, B or C, and the athletes that feel a bit aggrieved always want to try and prove that point that they could have run in the next level. So yeah, there's 2 really good quality undercard races in this mile, and it looks like Max Taylor's taking the lead now.
Of course, in the process of trying to prove a point, you don't want to blow your own tactics either, do you?
Yeah. So and you see KG Ben Ruth edging his way up into 5th. Tia Wynyard has got a brother running around the track, and he's just gone and jumped 2:06, I think it is.
I think he's gone 2:10.
2:10 now.
He's gone 2:10 for a personal best, and he is delighted. And so are his mates down there. Big embrace with Samasoni Hewitt.
So they got the bell in this, and
it's Tom Strawbridge there.
Is it
second at the moment?
Second is it on the outside now? Yeah. He's also running out of University Club, isn't he? So, and we've got someone making a strong move down the back now. And that is the Egmont runner, isn't it? Yeah, he's coming back.
So Felix Field, after leading early, he surged around the outside of Strawbridge. Wynyard's certainly not done, and I don't know if he's been able to take in what his brother's just done, but it could be inspiring him here as he
absolutely, wouldn't it be?
goes to the lead coming off the
200
back
to go,
here.
and looks like Taylor hasn't given it up yet either.
hasn't.
He's had a turn in the lead, so all these gentlemen had a turn in the lead, and they're having a good old tussle. But Wynyard's going to push hard, I'm sure, with his cross-country. He's had a really good cross-country season in the winter down there in Christchurch, so it's a good battle. And
Wynyard turns first.
Yeah, they're going to run under 420, there's no doubt about that.
A good strong run from Pride Wynyard.
4:19, so that's really good.
Really strong finish. There are a few surges there over the final lap. One from Strawbridge a lap out, and Felix Field back into it in the back straight. But Pride Wynyard has come through, running the mile, while his brother has posted a personal best of 2.10 metres. And we'll get a look.
There's Wynyard.
That jump. This is tee up. All concentration.
Really good clearance, and he's very happy, isn't he? Look at that.
Brush the
bouncing
bar.
around.
And then across to fellow competitors they may be, but mates, Samasoni Hewitt there, Ben Walker, just delighted for him. And Hamish Kerr, of course, as well. So the camaraderie amongst the high jump athletes very high, as the bar is now as well. And we look forward to another jump from Hamish Kerr shortly. And of course, Zane Patterson's been jumping very well too. Here's Wynyard back, so the bar must have gone higher again. And he's bringing the crowd in.
And that's not a bad attempt, your first ever attempt at 7 foot, which is what we do for the nerves.
So 2.14 metres, that bar.
There's a milers, and good to see Ben Ruth come through there for third place, and 4:22.33 for a young man that's not far off 45.
That's
I'm wondering if there's any family bets on what the handicap is tonight between dad and son.
Pride Wynyard's run a personal best, 4:19.90. So what a few minutes for the twins. Max Taylor, 4:20.60 in second. Ben Ruth coming through third, ahead of Tom Strawbridge and Felix Field, who just faded over the concluding stages. But Tony, he did produce a personal best there in that, as did others, and they probably won't get better conditions than tonight on Picker.
Yeah, and that'll be. I mean, these young men don't get to run that many mile races, so that'll be right up with his personal best 1500, which is 4:01.9. So here's Patterson, isn't it? We've got.
So that's 2:14 that he's brought down there. Zane Patterson, just reminding you, he did jump 2:15 in Australia last weekend, so he is capable. Now Hamish Kerr has had one warm-up jump effectively at 2.6 metres, which he cleared with a lot to spare, it would have to be said, and now he approaches 2.14 metres. And Tony, these sort of heights, clearly we know he can clear them comfortably, but he really can't afford to sort of lose any concentration either.
No, he's got a lot of personal pride, and he'll definitely want to get over these heights. And as we said, we're lucky that he's chosen a couple of competitions he's going to compete in New Zealand. He's got a busy season.
It's the style of an Olympic champion.
Yeah, it's fantastic, isn't it? It's just so graceful. And so he's got a world indoor title to defend as well, which have come back to back almost, because of the way the COVID period went. And so it's a world indoors in Nanjing in China in March. So that's his big focus really between now and then. And then he'll come back, I believe, jump in Christchurch, and then the national championships. So that's his New Zealand campaign this year.
Triple jump going on as well down in front of us, so we'll get you involved in that as well. Just quickly on that high jump while Tony looks to the triple jump, so Hamish Kerr over 2 metres 14. Zane Patterson and Tia Wynyard have had one miss at 2.14. They're the remaining 3 in the competition. Samisoni Hewitt finished at 2.02. Dale Arbuckle with a personal best 2.02. Ben Walker 2 metres 2. Connor Larson, the second Australian in the lineup, at 1 metre 97, alongside Jaden Williamson.
Yeah, so just going to the triple jump, we might not have given you the distance of Ethan Olivier in the first round was 16.39 and his brother did 15.08, and then Scott Thompson's next there on 14 metres exactly. So this is Tia Wynyard.
Second attempt at 2.14, and he's giving it a decent crack, Tony.
He is, isn't he? So
he doesn't appear daunted by it.
no, and some of these, especially the boys from Christchurch, they will have been doing some training, no doubt, with Hamish and learning from him, and the coaching from the likes of Hamish's coach James Sandlin and Terry Lomax, sort of the long-time leader of high jump coaching in New Zealand. This is triple jumper from representing New Zealand schools. That was Zane Bowden, I think. Let's get that right. There we've got Patterson at the high jump. An Australian visitor. Set a personal best just last weekend of 2.15.
He's taken down 2.14 for the second time. So Wynyard and Patterson looking to stay in. They have one more attempt remaining at 2 metres 14. And if they're out, that will leave Hamish Kerr as the sole competitor. And then I guess Tony at his discretion as to what he does from there and how many jumps he would actually like to have tonight.
Yeah, that's right. He might pop it up to late 220s possibly and test his form. And mustn't forget, for these young men as well, as we see the start lining up for the 400, there's some reasonable prize money being a bronze level World Athletics events, and it always helps their training with that.
Certainly does. Now Tom Tapuni is lining up here. Well, unfortunately, I've lost my starting lineup for this, but it's there for you. Oliver Foley, Max Lure, Campbell Wills, Thomas Gowan, James Henson in lane 5. Tommy Tapuni out in lane 7, but is he there? I don't actually see that he is. Here's Tia Wynyard, but unfortunately just crashing through that last, but he'll be very happy with his personal best of 2 metres 10.
Yeah, absolutely. Here we have our number 1 ranked triple jumper, Ethan Olivier, on the runway. Looking pretty smooth.
Yeah, Tom Tapuni is missing from lane 7, so we can scratch him. Aidan Galley out there in lane 8, Owen Westerhout lane 6. James Henson is there in lane 5. Thomas Gowan in 4. As we get underway, 3 for Campbell Willis, Max Lure and Oliver Foley off the inside. In fact, Max Lure looks to be missing as well there in lane number 2. So Westerhout showing out in lane number 6.
Yeah, and this is a feature of this Cooks Classic. They have a 400 metres, and the prizes go based on handicap time. So this is what these young lads are all running hard to try and see if they can get as close as they can to their handicap based off personal bests against anyone else.
So it'll be James Henson there
Yep.
in lane number 5, who's put a space on them here.
Looking strong, and it looks like the Mana athletes of Max Lure on the inside is just going to. No, I don't think he did hold out. The fast finishing athlete there.
Thomas Gowan there in lane 4, so very close, 2nd and 3rd. Max Lure did go round there. It was Westerhout who was scratching along with Tommy Tapuni. James Henson, a very comfortable winner, and will confirm 2nd and 3rd there, but a close go between Max Lure and Thomas Gowan in the 400 metre men's. Tommy Tapuni, so he had 1 race tonight. He was nominated for 3. He's probably never going to run in all three, but he won the 200. Here's Valerie Olivier.
Just cut away there, but looks like a good clean jump.
So down at the high jump, we just have the bar being raised again. We'll see where it goes to, with Hamish Kerr having jumped 2.6 meters and then passing 2.10, coming back in at 2.14. And hopefully we'll be able to see what's being raised to in a minute. Thomas Gowan was second in that 400. And Max Lua third. We'll confirm that result for you soon.
So Hansen was first over there in 50.01, so it's close to what he would have wanted to go under the 50-second mark, I'm sure.
So just having a look down at the women's 400. Emma Very in lane 1, Izzy De Heer in 2. A couple of scratchings we've missed tonight, so just making sure they're all there. Samantha LaSalle in 3. Kate Borton is there in 4. 5, Mia DeJaga. Cameron Smart in 6. Will be a leading fancy in this.
And we've got that result there, Mark, on screen now for the men's 400. So Hampson took it out from Gowan. Some season's best there for those athletes.
And Westerhout and Tapuni were the two who were scratched from there. But it looks like we've got a full field of 8 here. We've got through to Cameron Smart in lane 6. Grace Wisniewski, backing up from her 400-metre hurdles earlier, is lining up. And Sasha Kilmister in lane 8. So they're all there for the women's 400 metres. And I thought the 400 flat was tough, and then there's the 400 hurdles. Tony, and Grace is happy to do them both in the same card.
Yeah, well, she's had a little bit of time. Here we have our Olympic champ back on the high jump, and looks like he'll be attempting 2:19 mark.
Okay.
That's what we're looking at, so trying to get some jumps in, obviously.
He did touch it and brought it down. Just looks slightly hesitant in the second to the last stride there. He wasn't far from getting over, but 2.19 meters again, we need to stress he's in the early stages of a pretty heavy training block, so he won't be getting up to Olympic standards tonight. That's not what this is about. As Tony said, he's got 3, I think, meetings that he might do before he heads offshore, including the nationals at Dunedin, and he'll certainly be looking to get over the 2.19, but he doesn't also want to have all that many jumps, I would imagine. Cameron Smart in lane 6 here. Tony, I see, ran a really good 800 last weekend in Auckland, 2:08.72. The PB here is 53.85 for the 400. That was set back in 2022.
Yes, so Cameron came back late last season after some injuries, but yeah, good to, from my perspective anyway, Mark, good to see that she's pushing out to where her mum was
Yes.
in the middle distance. But she'll run a pretty good 400 here, and I think will be one of the stronger girls in here.
She has won a senior championship back in 2021. She was third at the Nationals last year, and she has made a good start there in lane number 6. You can see her getting up onto the shoulder very quickly of Grace Wisniewski, and Sasha Kilmister is out in lane number 8.
Yeah, very strong run down the back of Cameron.
Opportunity for some decent times for these women. Mia DeJager and Kate Borton coming through the middle now, underneath Grace and Sasha out wider as they run the bend.
So
Cameron's going to have Mia DeJager right on her tail here as they swing the corner.
She's had plenty of competitions this season with being the national schools, but yeah, Cameron's coming through. going to hold Mia at bay from Cape Morton.
And fourth over was Grace Wisniewski, who actually brought it home really nicely over the back half there.
Yeah.
Cameron Smart, she was very strong. Looked at the race under control, but on the home bend, Mia Jaeger made really good ground in the New Zealand secondary schools colours there. She's out of the Hamilton City Hawks mare and won the Youth Gold in 2023. Former New Zealand secondary schools champion, but Cameron Smart the winner. Get the result through shortly. Now at the high jump, Hamish Kerr is lining up his second attempt at 2:19, and of course now that he's alone, is it I think 3 minutes between jumps he can have, Tony?
Gets a bit longer, which is nice. And he can choose his height as well from now. Gave a little nudge, but it was
he made it wobble.
Still pretty relaxed, wasn't he?
He was.
Yeah.
I'm not that I'm any high jump exponent, but he doesn't look to be driving through quite as hard as he would be, obviously, if he was facing something like a 2:36.
Yeah.
He's very much jumping to the height that's there in front of him, and he's done enough there, although he wouldn't have wanted it windy tonight.
So there's Cameron Smart's time, a good season's best, 54.58. So it was a little faster than I thought it was looking, but that's good. And
personal best for Mia, which is outstanding, 54 and 92. So she'll be encouraged by that. And Grace has finished fourth. Grace Wisniewski at 58 and 17. Another couple of PBs there for Emma Very and Izzy DeHere. So congratulations to them.
Yeah. And we haven't updated the triple for a bit, so just the second round jump to our leader Ethan Olivier was 16.38, just 1 centimetre different from his 16.39 first round jump. His brother and Scott Thompson both fouled out their second attempts, and just seeing who's up next. Coming in after that is Zane Bowden with a leap of 13.31. Zane is the son of one of our former New Zealand reps, and Jenny Driver, as she was then, as a pole vaulter and a bit of heptathlon from memory. But so the two youngsters are doing well, of which Zane is here in the triple jump, coming in fourth place at the moment behind Scott Thompson.
Got another 400 metre race here. This is a mixed final, so a number of different runners, ages and genders.
Yeah, so this is to give the opportunity for some of these athletes to get a time, I think, so they can become part of that handicap mix for the awards that go with this particular event.
Off the back of this race, we will have the Group B for the mile. This is Cruz Witherford leading the mixed 400 metres. Good battle though for second and third. Very tight between Ian Rattray and Hayden Robinson. Robinson steaming through in lane 2. We also have the shot put going on at the far end, to the left of where we're sitting, and we've got both men's and women's going on simultaneously. No surprise to see Liam Nchok-Wolf currently leading that with 17.25. Nathaniel Salupo's pulled out a 16.77 personal best for Fraser Hazeldine 12.30, Max Apfel 12.16. We saw him at the high jump mat as well, and Keegan Sharkey 11.56 as we look down to the competitors, the triple jump.
Yeah, so just see an indication that Hamish Kerr is going to attempt 2.24, I think, next up, Mark. So that'll be starting to get into mid 220s. So it's good. I'll see what his stadium record is. I think it's 2.28 here from memory. So
Valray Olivier on the runway for his next triple jump attempt. Just quickly on the shot put too, Lauren Bruce is currently leading the women's 13.06, the hammer throw winner. It's 3 from the hammer throw backing up in the shot put. Michaela Solis second, 12.11. Lexi Maples third. Maddie Wilson, heptathlete who we've seen often tonight, currently lying fourth.
So looking at the shot there now. And that's stepped out over the front. So here we have Kerr attempting, we believe, is 2.24.
He's brought that down with his first attempt. Valray wants
the crowd to get behind him.
He wants a bit of adulation as well.
Yeah, he wants to edge closer to his brother. See if he gets a clearance that time. So for the viewers at home, you'll notice there's a range of white lines across the track there which indicate the boards they're jumping off, and these elite guys, particularly Valray and Ethan, are jumping off the 13-metre board, and some of them will be jumping off the 11-metre board.
Cruz Witherford in that mix 400 recorded 54 and 75, and first woman home there was Vanessa Hodge. Sasha Aldazani posted a personal best there, 1:15.38, and Mark Konaga with 59 seconds.
So Sasha, I'm pretty sure, is one of our para-athletes.
Para-athletes, indeed. Yep,
that's right.
And I think Mark's about as old as me, but another Mark of similar vintage, but running quicker than I can.
Yeah.
Now, Tony, we've got the
B mile race
coming up, and some very good young runners in here. So
yes, I must admit I've got an interest in this race from one of my youngsters, but yeah, it's a pretty strong field for a B mile, that's for sure.
Is Jarg Villas your boy?
That's correct, yep. So he's a little disappointed he didn't quite make the A race, but this is still a very good, strong race in here, with some good athletes in here with in their 1500s and the sort of low 350s for 1500, which puts them around about the 4.8 to 4.10 sort of mile time. So we'll see how this pans out.
There's the back half of the Group B mile race. So significant sized field of 17, and we'll take you back to the high jump in a moment or two for Hamish Kerr's second attempt, 2 metres and 24. And he's brought it down for a second time. So one more attempt should he choose. Hamish.
Well, we know he's a reasonably good exponent on that third attempt, don't we?
We do.
From some of that major championship experience.
So Luca Everett off the inside here. Nelson Doolan, Quinn Moss, Lorcan Rabbit, Jake Lomas, Nick Dobby, Jag Willers, Speed Colburn, Fletcher Van Hooven, Justin Cunningham, Isaac Murphy, Christian Cumming. They take their marks. Mason Waterworth, Tane Patel, Max Wildboar, Logan Hopfler and Noah Fenwick. Big field.
Yeah, it's a big field, and let's hope everyone gets away cleanly. We see. Be really interested to see what this race has won. I mean, someone could run 4.5 if they're going out pretty smart to start with, that's for sure. So that's good. It'll keep them stretched out, and everyone then should get some good clean running, and pick up who's leading for you shortly. But I can see that.
Did you give Jag any instructions, Tony?
just told him to get up in the top half, and it's good. He's left his watch at home, so he can't be worrying about looking at his watch because he took a tumble in the steeplechase national schools when he, I think, was having a look at the inside clock. But yeah, so we're just trying to pick out
Luca Everts leading
yeah, in the white colours.
straight.
Yep. Number 15 coming through there.
Fletcher Van Hooven's handy as well. He's second at the moment.
So I'll try and get a quarter mile split for you. And it looks like the
Max Wildball lying
going
third.
through in about 61.5, which is really good for these guys. So the twilight's setting in and the lights are taking good effect on the track, Mark, as we get in the countdown to the big mile of the night.
Indeed, and Hamish Kerr's just taken to his feet. He allowed the runners to pass there, and we'll have a shot. Third attempt at 2 metres 24. He's won the competition tonight. 2 metres 10. Next best from Tia Wynyard, a personal best, and Australian Zane Patterson. And Hamish now getting the crowd involved. The mile field coming round into the home straight. So he'll take his jump now. Hamish Kerr.
Right. That's his night, sadly for him.
I thought he was going to throw the javelin there for a moment.
They're coming through here, and it's Luca Everts still doing the leading. They've gone through in about 2:07, which is still on a good pace for these youngsters. Most of the younger athletes in here are up-and-coming juniors. And there's two, the other black singlet in there was Max Wilderburn from Napier. He's back in 5th now. He's representing New Zealand schools. You'll see these athletes are proudly wearing their New Zealand school singlet if they've made the championship team. So,
still Luca Everett leading.
Yep.
Coming off the back straight. And he's kept a steady pace too. He's strung out the front division now down to 4.
So we've got a Taronga boy, I think, in there. Or it might be number 5.
Fletcher Van Hooven lying second. Jake Lomas in third.
Well, please see Willis is moving into third there now.
Running strongly too.
So they've made a good break, these top 4, haven't they? So I think that will be the top 4 in the race.
Everett leading Van Hooven. Willers.
4th place is still there.
That's Jake Lomas in 4th. Couple making their way out of the ruck now to try and join
Bridge
in.
the gap, yeah, you can see that in the white. I'm not sure who that is. It's possibly a Palmerston athlete.
Willers about to go to the lead here.
Yep.
Over Everett. Jake Lomas has hit the front here. And he's going to pull away for a very good win. Jake Lomas, the winner, just trying to pick up the second runner who finished very strongly.
Oh, yeah, so I was trying to pick in the white.
Couldn't find a number for him, but he's sprinted into second. Did Willers hold third?
He was third, and must be possibly the Palmerston runner, Justin Cunningham there. I wasn't sure who that was in the white.
Plenty of exertion still lying on the track. It was Justin Cunningham through in second spot. But Jake Lomas kicking strongest in the straight. Justin Cunningham, who was 5th at the bell, made a super move into second. And Yoke Willers home in third. We've got 23 runners listed for the women's mile upcoming here. And Tony Rogers vacating the chair. But in comes another excellent middle distance runner, Lucy Oliver, Lucy Van Dalen, you might remember her as. Lucy, welcome in.
Hi, thanks for having me.
And you've come in just at the right time. 1500 metre champion, I think back in 2013.
Yeah, it feels like a while ago, but here
Went
we
to
are.
the World Indoors the year after, the Commonwealth Games, 2 Olympics, 2012, 2016.
Yep, that's correct.
So you're looking forward to this race. There's certainly an international flavour to it.
Oh yeah, with the Aussie girls and an American and Japanese girl. This is just going to be a race to watch.
In terms of conditions, we've talked about it tonight. It seems fairly humid to me, quite still out there and almost like a warm bath. Would you enjoy running in these conditions?
Yeah, I reckon these conditions are just perfect for a 15. A 5K, it might be a bit hot, but for, a mile tonight is just going to be, I think it's great conditions.
With a field this size, and we'll run through some of them, talk about some of the leading chances: Sophia Haynes, Olivia Clay-McDowell, Ava Sutherland, Madison McLean, Juliet Moorhead, Nina Chalmers, Paige Dobson, Zara Pomfret, Holly Fawcett there on the first page. It's a very big field, Lucy. How would you handle that in terms of trying to run your own race? Australian Lyndon Hall, they're expected to be prominent amongst the New Zealanders. Alison Andrew Pauls, we expect to be there. There's the Japanese competitor Lucy mentioned, Saki Katakahara, as well there. Another Australian, Izzy Thornton-Bott, and the American Taylor Werner in there as well.
Yeah, if it was me, I'd just get out quickly off the line, try and get into a safe position and, maintain my lane. I'm sure these girls, they know their limits and they will race to those limits. So, it will be fun to watch. I hope there's no...
Spikes?
Yeah, I've fallen over in a race before as well, and it's not fun.
No. Bridget Dennehy there on the last page as well. Would you expect her to be prominent amongst the Kiwis here? Of course, because it is the New Zealand Mile Championship as well.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah, definitely. You don't know who's got it on the day, so it'll be fun to see who's going after it tonight.
So the Japanese competitor Saki Katakahara, she's a 23-year-old. She did run 4:11.62 for the 1500 in June last year back home in Japan. Lyndon Hall, it's been to the last 3 Olympics, first Australian under 4 minutes for the 1500. I think she was ranked 14 in the world last year, Lucy, so we expect her to be prominent in a sub 4:20 in Oslo back in June of 2023.
Yeah, I think she'll be in great shape tonight, and she's coming off some great times from 2024 as well, so she's one to watch.
She's in bib 162. Taylor Werner, the US athlete, she's 26-year-old, a former Pan American under-20 champion over the 3,000 metres. That was back in 2017. So a real international flavour to this race as they take their marks. And underway in the women's mile, World Athletics Continental Tour bronze event, and the New Zealand 1 Mile Championship here as well. So that's worth remembering, obviously, because the medals will go to the first 3 New Zealanders home. Alison Andrews Paul has been prominent in the last couple of years over both the 800 and now the 15 as well. But Lucy, looks like a quiet tempo at the moment, and somebody probably needs to take control of this race.
Yeah, it sure does. The girls with the speed at this point are going to be the ones who win out. But I'm sure it will pick up soon.
No one willing to have a crack at the moment. Alison Andrews-Paul and Lyndon Hall are prominent there, but neither look like they want to set a particularly quick tempo.
Yeah, a lot of these girls have fast 800-metre times, don't they? So they might be looking to getting things rolling over the last 2 laps.
The 4-minute equivalent for the women, I understand, Lucy, 4 minutes 36, but with a quiet sort of tempo like this, that's probably out of reach.
Yeah, I think so. You kind of need to be going hard from the line, but yeah, these girls have phenomenal speed, so you never know.
So Lyndon Hall has taken it upon herself, the Australian, to take the lead out of Victoria, and she's just starting to wind things up a little. Alison Andrews-Paul is just sitting in the trail in behind her. Other Australian is the Thornton Bott, handy as well. Taylor Werner running second there behind Lyndon Hall, who's really starting to crack now, Lucy.
Yeah, it's stringing out, isn't it? She looks like she's going after it.
So these 4 have broken away just under 2.5 minutes in. It's Alison Andrews-Paul in terms of the Kiwis, who's hanging in there. Lyndon Hall looking to break away from Taylor Werner, Izzy Thornton-Bott and Alison Andrews-Paul, who's looking prominent for the gold medal for the 1 mile national championship here. It's a bit of a trip in the back straight there for Saki Katakahara, the Japanese runner. I think she might have clipped the inside rail there, and I thought she was going to pull out, but she stayed with them. Gee, Lucy, Lyndon looking strong though.
She sure does, yeah.
No tempo early, but she's certainly turning it on now. Werner second, Thornton Bott third, Alison Andrews-Paul the leading New Zealand runner at the moment, and Bridget Dennehy, the second Kiwi right now. And right on her back is Tilly Hollier, who had such a good season last season. Inside the final lap. Lyndon Hall with a seemingly unassailable gap, about 30 to 40 metres on the American Taylor Werner, the second Australian.
It's really a race for second and third right now, isn't it?
Certainly is, and Andrews-Paul is sitting right on the 2 internationals. She looks safe for the New Zealand gold for the 1 mile championship, but I'm sure she'd love to run to second if she can. Lyndon Hall to turn into the front straight, this very accomplished Australian runner out of Victoria. Australian Quinella coming up with Thornton Bott to second, Alison Andrews-Paul finishing off strongly. She'll be third across the line, but she'll take the gold for the national title 1 mile.
And a great time, a 4:40 for her.
Bridget Dennehy will take the silver, second Kiwi home, and Tilly Hollier the bronze. So we'll get the time through shortly for Lyndon Hall. It was a very quiet opening 400 metres. And she realised she'd have to do it all by herself, and she sprinted well clear. And Lucy, hopefully the crowd who have come here tonight will appreciate the ability of this Australian and the talent that she's got in a world at the moment where middle distance female athletes are just phenomenally strong.
Yeah, they sure are. Yeah, it's just amazing that she's made the trip over and come and raced in Whanganui. That's just awesome for us. And to inspire young girls in the sport. It's really awesome.
Indeed. So we'll await that time to come through. At Lyndon Hall, the winner, and Alison Andrews-Paul, the first Kiwi home in third spot. Just repeating, Lyndon good enough to be ranked number 14 in the world. It's Lexi Maples over at the shot put as that continues. Of course, we have the A mile final coming up for the men shortly. And we'll bring you up to date with the other field events. Our thanks to Lucy Oliver stepping in there for the women's mile. Tony Rogers coming back for the men's. Hamish Kerr, 2 metres 19 with his clearance tonight. Zane Patterson of Australia, 2:10. Tia Wynyard also 2:10, a personal best. And we had PBs for Dale Arbuckle out of Marlborough, 2 metres and 2. So some excellent high jumping there tonight, and the crowd enjoying seeing their Olympic champion Hamish Kerr and inspiring a new generation of jumpers to some terrific heights, particularly Wynyard tonight. Lauren Bruce, who took the hammer throw earlier, she is currently leading the shot put. She launches her latest, and we'll catch up on what we've had from earlier with the hammer result. Lauren Bruce taking that 67.48 over Lexi Maples 62.10, and Fernanda Torrado with that personal best 53.83. Bruce, Maples and Solar all down at the shot put. Lauren Bruce actually won a couple of silver medals at national level, 2016-17 in the shot put. One here at the Cooks 2022. Here's Ethan Olivier.
Getting the rhythm wrong there for Ethan, so pulling out through the jump. But going back to Lauren Bruce's hammer result there, Mark, they should be pretty pleased with that, 67. She hasn't been throwing that much further than that in recent times, so shows she's still training hard and still keen to get it out there. Based in Australia now.
Just on that triple jump, Ethan Olivier's best jump to date, that's 16:39. I believe that's a meeting record, Tony. Check that, but I
think it would be.
Yeah, 15:42 for his brother Valray at the moment, and the evergreen Scott Thompson 14 metres with Zahn Bowden next.
We just saw young Hazeldine in the shot. He's one of our younger competitors. He's done well in the schools.
15 years old, turns 16 next month, Fraser.
Yeah, and he was throwing at the Solar Power meet the other week, so he's been mixing it with some of the big boys.
And in that men's mile B, we saw Jake Lomas come through for 14:67. Apologies to family and friends of Justin Cunningham. We were a bit late picking him up, but he was excellent coming through for second. Jaguar's third, and personal bests for the first three, and also fifth and sixth there, Tony, so they've taken advantage of the perfect conditions.
Yeah, I think that the race was interesting for those young guys. They went out at a good clip, and then they had a couple of slower laps in the middle and came home reasonably strong. So I think someone would have been targeting to run a little bit faster, but I think it's quite humid still down there, Mark.
It seems very humid here.
Yeah,
for sure.
I know we're warm up here in the box, that's for sure.
and we're not doing any physical
any
exertion.
running, yeah. I'm quite glad that it's not something I'm going to be doing tonight.
Race 3:59.8 here a couple of years ago. Lane 3, Connor Melton.
So we've got
Nathaniel Salupo.
Yep.
He tossed out a PB tonight in the shot.
He was in pretty good form with the discus, which is his big event, but he's really is our number 4 thrower in the shot.
Benjamin Wall from Gildy Pollard.
So Liam Inchuk-Wolf was leading that with a PB of 17:52, and Nathaniel Salupo's PB 16:80. So excellent putting from both Liam and Nathaniel.
There he was in the circle, and he's got in a good throw. Yeah, it was just waiting to see. It was pretty close there up the front. Sporting a new hairdo, Liam.
Looking good.
Hairstyle.
Makes him recognisable. Let's talk about this mile. Sam Tanner to the left of your picture has won this the last 2 times. 3 times overall because he won it 2021 as well. 4 times sub-4, Tony, looking for 5, which would equal Nick Willis and pull him clear of John Walker, who did 4. You've done 3, my friend, so how do you see this going?
Well, I think Sam should be the one that takes it out. We've got Jack Bruce in here from Australia, who's, they tell me they've just come down from training at Falls Creek, and then Jared Clifford, who's the partner of Anna Grimaldi, is actually partially sighted athlete, para athlete really, but he's mixing it in there today with the elite, and he's really looking for a really sharp time as well.
So plenty to watch here, and some promising young talent as well.
Yes, there's some promising young talent. You know, we've got a young guy, Joe Martin, who's run particularly well. He's run 150 point this year, I think it is.
I was very impressed with James McClay's last season, Tony.
Sadly James is not here.
Oh, is he out?
He's messaged me on the way today that he wouldn't be here because he's got a little bit of pneumonia, he said, so he won't be running during the week, and probably for a week or 2 now. So wish him all the best, James. I know you'd love to be here tonight.
So they're underway, and obviously from an Olympic perspective, Tony, it was a disappointing time for Sam. Came out with an injury and at the wrong time.
Yeah, he'd struggled, and he ran a race in Britain before going over to the camp, and it was okay, but from Achilles problem I think is the main issue there, but he seems to be full recovered, and he's heading off to do some indoors after this. This is a New Zealand Championship. We don't normally have a pacemaker, but I'm not sure whether this is someone in the championship or what. But the pace has been set a little bit more in this men's race than it was in the women's, where Lyndon Hall ended up taking up the reins. But yeah, it's one of our younger athletes. Looking at his watch, is one of our school's athletes.
Conor McLean.
Yeah, so we'll see what they go through, and it's
Sam Tanner lying in second spot.
They're going through in a pretty good clip, well under 60, so that'll set up all of these athletes in the field, and we want to keep an eye out for young Sam Ruth in there, who's a young man who's only, 15, so
running some phenomenal times over 1,500, 3,000 metres. Jack Bruce, the Australian, lying third at the moment, the tall character, particularly compared to Sam in front of him.
Yeah, that's right. I noticed that when he stepped out at the airport yesterday, how tall he was, and so he's looking comfortable in there. He
was an Oceania champion going back a decade or so. Jack Bruce, 30 years old these days, ran 3:37 and change for 1,500 in Italy in 2000.
And that's Jared Clifford in the hat, and Lars is just in behind him, the young Australian who's partially sighted, but is running strongly there, and he's going to be here. He'll be hoping for a sub-4 minute mile.
So Conor McLean pulls out, leaves Sam Tanner, Jack Bruce and Jared Clifford to it. Jared, a T12 assessed para athlete. He's got the World Para 1,500 metre record at 3:41.34, which probably equates to around a sub-4.
Yeah.
Remember Sam last year, Tony, happy to do the work.
Yeah, so they're definitely under 4 minute pace. They're going through around 1,000 metres in around 2:27.28, so we'll see what they come up to the bell in. It's a 3-man race, isn't it?
David Lee lying fourth, of course, with Sam, followed by 2 Australians there, Tony. The
silver medal position, yeah.
And bronze medal positions are up for grabs to this group, and behind it, David Lee is currently leading.
So they're coming through in around 3:58 at the 3/4 mark, so we'll see what Sam
Ruth is just tucked in amongst that group there. He's on the inside.
Yeah, he's in the black singlet, is that right? He's in the schools, yep.
Yeah.
So he's in about 7th spot at the moment, isn't he? So we'll watch him and see how he finishes. He's looking strong now, actually making his move.
Matthew Taylor
go back to the front
strongly. He's moved just in behind David Lee, but up front.
200 to go, and 3:28 for Tanner, so he's going to run a reasonably smart time here. I'd say he's probably come in for a 3:56, but Jack Bruce, he hasn't dropped off yet.
He's clinging on.
Clifford's gone, and Bruce has got some long legs if he can wind her up.
He has.
But Sano's looking smooth.
2 strides to Jack Bruce's 1, and the crowd's pulling him home to a 4th mile championship and his 3rd straight Cooks Classic victory.
Around 3:55, a smart time.
Yeah.
And looks like Jared Clifford's going to get very close to running under 4 minutes.
Wow.
And Sam Ruth must have about
silver.
4. Yeah, so he came home for silver in the New Zealand Champs. So he'll have a really smart time for a 15-year-old, I would think, in that race, won't he? We'll see what that is.
I think David Lee will be the 3rd Kiwi across the line there to take that bronze medal. Yeah, it's been a fabulous run from Sam Tanner, the way things worked out last season, and gee, what a run from Sam Ruth at the age of 15.
There he is, yeah. Training buddies, they train out of Tauranga together. Same squad with Craig Kirkwood, got a big group of youngsters there. So, yeah.
Sam 24 now, and said that it's his responsibility now to bring some of the youngsters through to fast times like Nick Willis used to do for him.
Yes, I reminded him of that the other day when he ran in the capital in 2019 and managed to take Nick's over an 800 metres, and yeah, looking smooth there, isn't he, as in a replay. Jack Bruce, a really good run for him. As I said, been up training at Falls Creek in altitude. Here's Nathaniel Sulupo in the shot.
He's happy with his night's work. A personal best for Nathaniel Sulupo tonight. Now, just looking for the results and times for these miles, which I haven't seen come up yet, but
3:55.75.
Is that for Sam?
Yeah, 56.9 for Bruce. Clifford 4:0.45.
Oh.
He'll be so disappointed in that.
So close.
And Sam Ruth coming in with 4:01.72. That's a massive time for a 15-year-old, isn't it?
Extraordinary. Here it comes now. So
yes.
David Lee, 3rd and 4:01.89. Here's a personal best for him as well, as too for Ethan Smolich and Joe Martin as well. A personal best. So some fantastic performances here, headed by Samuel Tanner. So the New Zealand Mile Championship, Sam will win it again. Sam Ruth will take silver, David Lee the bronze. So Jack Bruce adds his name to the sub-4 mile club. Sam Tanner's now done it 5 times. He draws level with Nick Willis at that number. And then Jared Clifford was so close. He just served it. He hung on to that pace as long as he possibly could. He's only just missed, but it might inspire him to come back in 12 months' time for the next Cooks Classic.
Yeah. Ideal conditions, once again. Cooks Gardens has the history of the mile being run in brilliant conditions at 9 o'clock at night here, where the wind drops by the coast, and tonight's particularly humid actually for Cooks. It's often you get a bit of a cool. In
the background we saw Shaka Sola there chatting to Nathaniel Sulupo, but Lauren Bruce took out the shot put with 13.15, so dual victory tonight for Lauren Bruce. Lexi Maple second, as she was in the hammer, just ahead of Michaela Sola and Maddie Wilson, who's had a typically busy night, and Samantha Lascelles stepping out in the shot put circle. We're more familiar with her on the track. And then just looking down to the triple jump pit where they're continuing on there. And we'll look for an update. We'll have some attention on there. Tony Rogers vacating the seat. Might go see if he can find an interview. We'll look to see if we can find a time as well for the women's mile, which I haven't seen yet. Ethan Olivier hasn't improved on that 16.39, and his brother Valerie, his older brother, 15.42, currently second. Scott Thompson holding down third, 14 metres even there. And Kisharia 13.70 ahead of Bowden now, who's in fifth, 13.51. Down at the long jump pit as that draws to a close, and that'll be the final event of the night with the shot put circle now closed. Zane Bowden just looking a little sore as he came through the pit there. Hopefully he's okay. He's put in a good shift, currently lying 5th. And just confirming that shot put with Liam and Chock Wolf at 17.52 PB and Nathaniel Salupo 16.80 PB, so they're pushing each other hard there. And Fraser Hazeldine, youngster out of Western Heights High School, 3rd there at 13.40. Scott Thompson is back on the runway. 32 years of age now, Scott. 3rd in the Nationals last year behind the Olivia brothers, but he picked up senior titles in 2021 and 22. Personal best of 15.22 set back in 2016. To do a 14.86 wind assisted at the ITM meet in Christchurch last year, which is part of the summer circuit, which is kicking off tonight. First of 3 classics this week. Here's Thompson. And that's his final jump for the night. And Valerie Olivier heading down to the runway. Now that women's mile result is through, and Lyndon Hall has clocked 4:35.28, 4:36, regarded as the equivalent of the men's sub-4. So she ran an extremely quick back half of the race there, ahead of fellow Australian Izzy Thornton-Bott, 4:39.84. And Alison Andrews-Paul, who will take the 1 mile championship, 4:40.86. Japanese athlete came up with a PB for the mile of 4:53.27, and a good number of PBs for a number of young women from New Zealand. Sasha Letica, Ava Sutherland and others there. And then over the page more, Sophia Haynes and Madison McLean. So many of the young women taking advantage of the perfect conditions tonight, or seemingly perfect. Valerie Olivier. And his 6th and final jump, I believe. And again, just not happy there. He's just feeling that through the pit. The initial hop seemed okay, but then short through the step and pulling out of the jump. But he'll take 2nd in this competition tonight at the PAK'nSAVE Cooks Classic, and Ethan Olivia will bring down the curtain on tonight's classic. The first of 3 this week, a little revamped. So it's a meet record, Ethan Olivier. Got Tony Rogers down on the infield there. He's looking to get an interview for us off the back of those mile championships. And Ethan Olivier will be the last athlete in competitive action tonight. And he's all concentration down there at the moment, just waiting for the right time to bring the crowd in. And they've stayed, and they've thoroughly enjoyed the action from 7 o'clock. Here he is, Ethan Olivier. Pulls out a good jump to finish. 16:39 is best tonight, 17:01 his New Zealand record, which he produced to win the World Under-20 Championship in Lima, Peru, after finishing 4th in the World Under-20s 2 years prior, just nudged out of a medal in the last round on that occasion. 16:60 for Ethan Olivier, so worth waiting around for. Best jump tonight, and a very good jump for Ethan Olivier, pulling out his very best in round number 6. Hand slap with his brother Valerie. Same Quinella we've become used to. And Ethan Olivier with 40 records that he set across New Zealand age groups thus far, and many of those had originally been set by that man there, Valerie Olivier. Just looked a little sore after that last jump and shaking his head there a little, so do hope that he comes through this competition okay. So we have Tony Rogers in the middle, and if he can arrange an interview for us, we'll take that for you before we wrap up the night. But we started at 7 o'clock with the main body of the meeting, and of course at that point the focus was on the high jump, and ultimately Hamish Kerr came through and won that, 2 metres 19. He was unable to clear 2 metres 24 tonight, but he's in the early stages of his season and in a heavy body of work at the moment, quite a heavy workload to be jumping out of, if you like, so it's terrific to be able to have him tonight in this competition, and we'll see him again by the sounds of it, perhaps at the ITM meeting in Christchurch next month, and then the Nationals in March, which are in Dunedin this year, and he has the World Outdoor Championships in Tokyo in September to build up to. Of course, he's looking for a first outdoor title, having been World Indoor Champion last year in Glasgow, and of course ultimately Olympic champion in Paris. So Tony looking to catch up with Sam Tanner, who's moved to 5 sub-4-minute miles here at Cooks Gardens. Draws up to the outstanding Nick Willis, joins him on 5 sub-4s on this track. Former Olympic champion 1976, John Walker. 4 sub-4-minute miles, and the man that we might hear very shortly again, Tony Rogers, has 3 at this venue. Now Lyndon Hall, who won the women's mile out of Australia, is joining Tony with his 2 microphones. So,
ladies and gentlemen, down here with me is tonight's Women's International Mile winner, Lyndon Hall, all the way from Australia. Had a great 2024, Lyndon, and you've stepped up tonight after some heavy training, I bet. You took it out. The ladies didn't seem keen on going hard, and you really took it all to yourself. How did you feel about your race?
Yeah, it was absolutely perfect conditions here. Like, just as it got later, the wind just dropped, and I was like, "Oh, this is pretty nice. Worth the trip for sure." And yeah, I wanted to kind of sit back in the race a bit and get used to running around people, because it's obviously been the off season and a little while between races, and then wanted to really run the back half pretty strong. And yeah, I was pretty happy with how I did that.
Yeah, you look very, very strong in the closing stages out there by yourself. You go back to, or you're actually flying out tomorrow and you're heading off on the indoors. Tell us a little bit about that so the people here can keep an eye out for you.
Yeah, going to venture off to the US on Monday for a few indoor races. Just trying to keep my racing a bit fresh and do something new and some things I haven't done before. So off to go freeze in America.
Yeah, well, you could stay here in New Zealand and run Wednesday night if you like, but I know you've opted to go over to do the indoors. So, and the next target for you after that?
We'll head back and we'll have, obviously Australian Nationals in a couple, 2 months or so, which is pretty serious stuff for the women's 1500 in Australia now. So I think we'll all be looking to be pretty ready come Nationals over in Perth.
Well, all the very best, and it's great to have you here in Whanganui, a special place for the mile, and congratulations on tonight's outstanding performance.
No worries, thanks for having me.
So that was Lyndon Hall, the winner of the women's mile tonight, taking valuable points as we see this remarkable statue, the bronze of Sir Peter Snell, who 63 years ago set a world record, and just extraordinary how long some of his records did stand, particularly the New Zealand 800 metre record, which was only recently broken by James Preston. So looks like that will be a wrap for the night with our chat with Lyndon Hall. Congratulations to her and to Alison Andrews-Paul, who has come through and taken the New Zealand Mile Championship by virtue of being the first New Zealander home in 3rd place there, and Sam Tanner claims another 1 mile championship as well. 3 straight here at the Cooks Classic and 4 overall, and in terms of titles, mile titles, and yeah, now those 5 sub-4-minute miles here. Hamish Kerr victorious in the high jump, Lauren Bruce in the hammer throw, and Ethan Olivier, another who represented New Zealand at the Paris Olympics, pulled out 16.60 to take the triple jump. We also got to see Anna Grimaldi, the Paralympic champion over 200, race over 100 metres tonight. Well, the fun doesn't stop. Wednesday, hope you can join us. Wednesday afternoon into evening, we have the Capital Classic out of Newtown Park in Wellington, and next Saturday, the Potts Classic. On behalf of the team who have brought you the action here tonight from the PAK'nSAVE Cooks Classic, all those who have got the pictures for us and the audio, done the direction, we'll join you again on Wednesday from the Capital Classic. New Zealand won World Championship here at Cooks Gardens.
Acceleration off the runway.
Hamish Kerr's over. Really well.
Releases the shot. That's a big one.
Green's coming the inside. Nagle trying.
Green's got it, I think. It's a little smile there. This man has the potential for greatness.